nature of human resource management. So in last 4 classes we have seen the first unit of human resource management, in which we have seen the basic concepts of HRM like functions, objectives and changing role of HR manager in modern organizations. Now we will proceed to the unit number 2, which is all about core functions of human resource management. So the core functions of any human resource management in any organization starts with planning for human resources to their compensation management. So in this unit we are going to see the first function, human resource planning. Then after human resource planning we will see recruitment, then selection, then training and development, and then performance appraisal on which the compensation is based. So in today's class we will start with our first function of human resource management, that is human resource planning. So as we already seen in management subjects that very first function of any organization is of course planning. So everything starts with planning. Even in normal life also, whenever we want to do something, first we have to plan for it. So in organization also, as human resource is very important asset for an organization, so the proper utilization of human resource is very important for any organization. Any organization must ensure that they have right kind of people at the right positions in the right time, and that is only possible with proper human resource planning. So human resource planning is all about to ensure the process of putting right person at the right job in right time. So we are going to see in this unit, sorry, in this lecture, all about human resource planning. So what is human resource planning? So human resource planning is a process that identifies current and future human resources needs for an organization to achieve its goals. So HRP is a process that identifies current and future human resources needs. So how many employees we need today or in coming future, and what kind of people we need. Planning of all these things is nothing but human resource planning. So company always ensure that they have right kind of people with right quantity today also and in future also, because many times in future there will be vacancies in an organization. So company in advance should must ensure that how many people they require in coming future and what kind of people, what job they will do, what skills they will require, what qualification they will require. So the kind of people they require and the amount of people, the number of people they require for completing their objectives. So as defined by Bulla and Scott, human resource planning is a process for ensuring that the human resource requirements of an organization are identified and plans are made for satisfying those requirements. So this process of ensuring that requirements of human resource of an organization are identified, means organization is knowing how many people they require and what kind of people they require, and plans are made for satisfying those requirements. An organization should be ready with their plans how they will get that kind of people in their organization. So really define workforce planning as a process in which an organization attempts to estimate the demand for labor and evaluate the size, the nature and sources of supply which will be required to meet the demand. So human resource planning is forecasting the demand of human resources in an organization and how many employees required and what kind of employees are required and from where organization can get that kind of employee. This whole process is called as human resource planning or workforce planning. So it is balance between demand and supply of human resource. Company first should identify the demand of HR. Demand of HR means how many number of people they require and what kind of people they require, that is size and nature. How many people require and what kind of people require means what should be their skills, their qualification, their potential, their capabilities, their abilities, and from where organization can get that kind of people in the organization which can fulfill that demand. So this is nothing but human resource planning process. So what are the objectives of human resource planning? Why human resource planning is required? What are the objectives? So there are different objectives of human resource planning. So we'll start with, it guarantees the ample supply of resources whenever there is a need for it. So the human resource planning will ensure that there is always the required amount of supply of manpower whenever it is required. So planning is done in advance to make sure that whenever company will need the kind of people, the amount of people, so it is always available. Now the another objective is make sure that the current manpower in the company is being used properly. So human resource planning process will ensure that current manpower in the company is being used properly. That means there is no scarcity of human resource, there is no excess of human resource in an organization. Company is always having the right amount of manpower and they are being used properly. So it's not that there is overutilization or underutilization of manpower. So company is always having right kind of people at right positions, at the right jobs. Now the next objective is to foresee the potential requirements of manpower at various skill levels. So to foresee means to see in advance the potential requirements of manpower at various skills level. As we all know that in organization there are different levels of jobs. So some jobs are at lower level, some are at middle level, some are at top level, like CEO is a job that is at top level. Manager is a job at middle level, supervisor is a job at lower level. So organization is always having different levels of job and according to that level of jobs, the skills are varying. The experience required will vary, the qualification required will vary, the training required will vary. So planning is very essential to make sure that company will know in advance that what are the manpower requirements at different levels of jobs. So for what kind of job you require what kind of people, that company know in advance, so that whenever they will start recruitment or selection, they know in advance that for particular job what kind of people they require. So HRP is very important to make sure in advance that for what kind of job, what kind of people are required. Now next is evaluate excess or scarcity of resources that are available at a given point of time. So HRP will also evaluate if there is excess of manpower in an organization or there is scarcity of resources in an organization at any point of time. So if company require 50 number of employees but company is having only 30 employees, that means there is scarcity of employees. And if company only want 50 number of employees but at that time company is having 70 employees, so there is excess of manpower in an organization. So scarcity of manpower is also not good, and excess of manpower is also not good. Scarcity of resource, human resource, is not good because if there is a less number of employees, then productivity will get reduced. There will be burden on the people and production will not be done at the proper time. There is low productivity, so it will hamper the overall profit of the organization. And even if there is excess of manpower, then what will happen? If excess of manpower will be there, then there will be more money will be required, because whatever work will be done by 50 employees, you are getting that work done with the help of 70 employees, so there is a wastage of money. So because of that, human resource planning is essential, because it will evaluate the excess or scarcity of resources at any given point of time. Now, the another objective is it will predict the impact of technological changes on the resources as well as on the kind of jobs they do. So, human resource planning is very essential, because nowadays, day by day, or every day, the new technology is getting arised. So, with the technological changes, the jobs of people are also getting changed, and at the same time the skills required, the training required is also getting changed. So human resource planning will predict the impact of technological change on manpower as well as on the jobs they do, because whenever we implement any kind of machine, then definitely the job responsibility will get vary. Either it will add more responsibility or it will reduce some kind of responsibility, because we always know machine replaces the man. So, but many times with the new technology, the burden increases. So, human resource planning is very essential to predict the changes, the impact of new technology on the resources, human resources, that what kind of new knowledge, what kind of new skills they will require, and the impact on their jobs also, whether it will increase their job responsibility or it will reduce their job responsibility. Because if it will increase the job responsibility, then company will require more number of human resource, and if it will reduce the job responsibility, then company will have to reduce the human resource. So it is very essential to predict the technological changes and what impact that changes will bring on the quality of the human resource and as well as on the work they do. Now, the another objective is manage the resources that are already employed in the organization. So, human resource planning will also help to manage the current manpower of an organization, whether they are properly trained, whether they are properly allocated to the proper jobs. It's not like the people who are having different skills, they are doing different jobs. It's not like I am having qualification of manager level position, but I am doing job at supervisory level. So company should always make sure that they are having right people at the right job and they are having every required skills to perform their jobs. So it will only be possible with proper human resource planning. Now another is ensure that there is a lead time available to pick and train any supplementary human resource. So why human resource planning is important, why it is essential, what is the objective? Look, it's not that tomorrow I want five candidates in an organization. Today, I have selected five employees and I will say, okay, from tomorrow you can join, you can start your work. No, some kind of training they always require. And it's not like you will start searching today and you will get the required candidates tomorrow. No, there should be always enough time in hand, because it will take time to search the people, it will take time to select the people. It will take time to train the people before allocating them their exact role. So, human resource planning will ensure that there is always lead time available to pick and train the supplementary human resource. So, these are the objectives of human resource planning. So, now we'll see the next topic, that is importance of human resource planning. So, as we already seen the concept of human resource planning, it's very essential for any organization to plan properly the human resources so that there will not be scarcity, or even there should not be any kind of surplus of human resources in organization. So, it's very important to use human resources in efficient way. So, there are different importance of human resource management. So, we'll start with unemployment. So, as we all know, unemployment is very crucial factor for any country. And as we all know, in India, we are having the vast population, so there is always uh, unemployment in India. So it's responsibility of every organization to properly plan human resources so that they can generate the employment opportunities in society. So now employment generation is only possible when companies will properly plan human resources. So this is one importance of human resource planning to cope up with this national problem of unemployment. Now, the next importance of human resource planning is employee turnover. So, human resource planning is important because companies are facing the problems of employee turnover. So, it's inevitable because in every company the employees are living and coming. So, when employee turnover is nothing but the number of people living in a year, living the organization in a year. So because of lot of reasons, people are leaving the jobs, like they want to migrate to some another city for because of personal reason, for example because of resignation they are leaving the organization, because of promotion or transfer they are leaving the one location, or because of marriage they want to shift from one location to another location. So there are different issues in personal life and professional life of an employee. So because of that, they are leaving the organizations. Even when they will get some greater opportunity, they will leave the organization. So because of lot of reasons, people are leaving the organization, and because of that, vacancies are getting generated. So human resource planning is also important because of employee turnover. Now next is retirement, disability and death. So human resource planning is also required because now the people, even if they will not resign from their jobs, they will not leave the jobs, but there are some reasons because of which their termination is inevitable. For example, because of retirement, they have to leave the job. Because of disability, because of some accidents, or because of some psychological or physical disability, they have to quit their jobs. And because of death, people naturally will leave the job. So these are the reasons which are inevitable in employees life. So because of that also the vacancies are getting generated and company requires proper human resource planning. Now the another reason is downsizing or redeployment. So human resource planning is very important because companies many times face some economical difficulties like scarcity of resources or scarcity of finance. So because of loss, company is not having the availability of fund, and because of that they are not able to run any kind of section of the company, like they want to shut down any plant of the company, manufacturing plant, or they want to turn up some activities of some particular department. So because of that, what will happen now, company will either downsize or redeploy the people. So what is downsizing or redeployment? Downsizing means dismissal of employees from the organization, and redeployment means transferring people from one project to another project, or from one task to another task, or from one department to another department. So if company will shut down one manufacturing plant, they have to redeploy the people from that plant to another plant. Or if company is facing some economic difficulties and because of that they have to shut down some activities, then company can dismiss the employees. So human resource planning is important in downsizing and redeployment of employees from the organization. Now, the another importance of human resource planning is optimum utilization of human resources and cost control. As we already seen that human resource planning, if with proper human resource planning, company will always ensure that they have proper number of people in an organization. There should not be scarcity, even there should not be surplus of human resource in an organization. So optimum utilization of human resource is possible through proper human resource planning, and it will also help company, it will also help organization to reduce the cost, because if company will have proper number of human resources with proper number of skills, then what will happen? Then the company will not have excess of manpower in an organization, and even whatever manpower they are having, if they are of right kind, then they will not waste the resources, because they are having proper skills, proper knowledge, proper experience, proper training which is required to perform their duties proper. So it will not waste the resources of an organization, and because of that the cost will be saved. So human resource planning is important for optimum utilization of resources and cost control too. Now another importance of human resource planning is technological changes. So human resource planning is very important to make and accept the technological changes that are happening outside the environment, because nowadays customer always want the new and innovative products. They always want some extraordinary features in their products and even services. So because of that technological changes are inevitable. Company have to adapt the technological changes to cope up with the competition. And whenever technological changes will happen in an organization, then at that time the jobs of people will get changed, and even the number of people requirement will get changed, and the type of people required will also get changed. So human resource planning is very important while implementing the technological changes in an organization, because at that time company have to plan the additional manpower required in an organization, or what kind of new skills, new uh, training or new knowledge is required, and what changes in the job roles will happen, that have to see. So all this is possible through proper human resource planning. Now, another importance of human resource planning is succession planning. Now, there are two terms in human resource management, that is career planning and succession planning. Now, every employee in an organization want career growth. So, what is career? Career is nothing but the number of jobs the person is holding in his whole professional life, and no employee want the same position throughout the professional life. They always want some kind of promotions in an organization, some kind of career growth in an organization, and plus organization also require employees to be filled with the key positions. So there are many key positions in an organization for which the company want powerful leaders, like CEO position, like managing director, general manager. So these are the key positions for an organization, because they are actually the policy maker and strategy builder in an organization. So company want the competent people for these kind of position, and plus the employees also want promotions in their organization. So all these things are possible through proper human resource planning, because company will have to see the competent people, whether they are having that kind of people, whether they are having that kind of skills. If not, then they have to plan for their training and development. So human resource planning is important for promotions and filling up the key positions in an organization. And the another importance is expansion and diversification. So human resource planning is also essential when company will plan for expansion of the business or diversification of the business. Now what is expansion and diversification? Expansion means the growth of the existing business by adding up new branches, by setting up new plants, by increasing the market. And what is diversification? Diversification means adding new product or new service in the existing business. Sorry. For example, sorry. So expansion and diversification. So expansion, for example, let's take example of banking sector. So if I'm having a bank, I'm having a bank in one location, one branch. So I'm planning for setting up a new branch. So that will be called as expansion. Suppose I am selling my product in only West Bengal. Now I am planning to sell my product in another states also. So I am just expanding my original business, existing product line. But what is diversification? Diversification means I'm completely diversifying my product or service. Suppose for example, right now I was only having medical hospital service, but now I'm planning to start one education institute. So that will be called as diversification. If I'm only producing automobiles, now I'm planning to produce some food products. So that will be complete diversification. So when company will plan for expanding the existing business, or company will plan for diversification, in both cases company will require new manpower with new skills, because they will have new jobs, new vacancies. So human resource planning is important when company will plan for expansion and diversification. Now next is the competitive advantage. So as we all know, the, the success of any company will depend upon its competition, how much powerful the company is in competing with its competitors. And that is only possible when company will have the right talent in an organization. Because as we all know that all other resources can be common. For example, whatever raw material I am using, the same raw material my competitor can use. Whatever machines I am using, the same machines competitor can use. Whatever fund I am having, my competitor can also have. But what is a differentiating factor? The differentiating factor within the competitors is only its human resource. So proper human resource planning will lead to competitive advantage, because proper human resource planning will ensure that company will have right kind of people at the right jobs. Company will have talent in an organization when they will properly plan human resources, and that will lead to competitive advantage. So this is importance of human resource planning.